showing that the city of Los Angeles, well, it's lost a little bit of its luster. Laz, break it down.
More than a little bit, according to this report. If you feel that downtown LA is not a very cool place to hang out, well, apparently you're not alone. A report out this week finds that downtown LA is one of the deadest downtowns in the world, which, if you know downtown LA pretty well, you might say, okay, where's the news there? All right, let's get into that. About 2/3 of respondents to the Gensler City Pulse survey describe downtown LA as vibrant, but that compares with 80% vibrancy scores for the likes of New York and Chicago. Gensler, an urban planning consulting firm, says downtown LA is 11th lowest in the U.S. for being, cool, and 20th lowest worldwide, well below the likes of Sydney and Shanghai. Kelly Farrell, managing director of Gensler's LA office, told the LA Times that the city's downtown has, become more downtrodden because businesses have moved elsewhere. And that's led to an exodus of workers and residents, which in turn has wiped out many restaurants and shops. And as a former downtown denizen myself from when the LA Times was there, it too has left downtown LA. I can attest that the area is just not so fun. Of course, there are pockets of fun and some pretty cool stuff that can be found down there, but generally speaking, it's not New York, it's not Chicago. What can we do? Well, needless to say, I've thought about this, and I've come up with a suggestion, although it's not an easy suggestion. My solution to this is aggressive rent control. Stop, hey, let me finish. This would be the way that you lure back the young and hip into the downtown area, and after they arrive, presumably the businesses will all come back to cater to them, and these would be the cooler businesses, restaurants, boutiques, things like that. Would it work? Well, demographically speaking, yeah.
So let me tell you the problem with downtown LA. As a person that frequently has visited a lot of places, and the only other place that I can think of as a major city, because every city says that they have a downtown. Like all of the little itty bitty cities that's outside of Metro Detroit say that they have a downtown, right? So I'm talking about the major cities. The only other place that I can think of right off the top of my head that has a rather low participation rate in downtown is Houston. Houston's downtown was wild. I went there and I was like, what is happening? I guess that nobody goes to Houston's downtown. But the problem with Los Angeles' downtown, the first thing is, and the most major thing, is homelessness. And it's dirty and it's nasty and it's broke, and the city and the leadership is not tending to it. The crime is rampant. You can't go outside without, seeing something wild. And until they actually do something about the culture in Los Angeles, it's the culture first, then you are going to, and the fact that it costs too much money to live in Los Angeles. And I'm not saying that he should do rent control, but I'm just saying that the cost of living out there because of incompetent leadership is the foremost biggest issue of what's happening in Los Angeles. And so until you fix that, until you fix those basic things, because even when I was there, you go there, you do what you got to do, and then you go to your other places of what you got going on. Most people that's out in California at this point are only there because of the weather. They are not there because it makes the most sense. And unless you out there for the beaches, then you might as well get up out of there because the leadership has just absolutely destroyed Los Angeles. The cost of living there is out of control, and the crime is rampant, even in downtown. It's insane.
Have shown that's one way to do it. Would landlords and developers get behind this? Not a chance.
No. Got to clean it up.
Well, the cleanup for sure. But, downtown LA used to rely so heavily on foot traffic. I was reading the LA Business Journal recently that vacancies in office spaces are approaching something like 40%.
Right.
And so the people just aren't there.
Right.
And so there are discussions about turning those office spaces into residential housing, commercial spaces into more residential housing. But how do you get the people back there first?
I think one of the problems with downtown LA is it's got multiple personalities. You've got the financial community on Bunker Hill, but there's really not much going on there. You got the razzle dazzle of Crypto.com Arena, but it doesn't get much farther than the things that are there. Broadway, man, that's just faded glory there. And then you got Skid Row. You put it all together,
You can't have a Skid Row, bro. Under no circumstances can you have a Skid Row and think that you are going to thrive. Like, honestly, I've walked. I ain't just talking about jumping in an Uber or a black truck and going where I got to go. I've walked all around Crypto Arena, LA Live. That's where, LA Live is. They got some dope hotels and stuff. Right across the street is that massive, they can't even clean that up. It's like a massive housing development that was supposed to be very high end, and it's got these graffiti filled eyesores that just goes all the way up into the sky. You can see it no matter where you at or whatever. Even if you come close to it, you just can't miss it. And then you go over to Skid Row, and it looked like a bomb hit it. And it's doo-doo everywhere, and it's bad everywhere. And I don't know how people expect for you to be able to thrive, or for you to want to live there, or for you to want to live, work, and play there, when not only do it cost you a lot to get there, but it's destroyed. Honestly, bro, you walking down Skid Row, and there's very few places that I can say is worse than Oakland. You walking down Skid Row, it is like, I guess for the people that live there, maybe it's a little bit more normal. But for those of us that are regular, everyday citizens that's going to Los Angeles, if you're from out of town, if you're from overseas and you're trying to go and visit Los Angeles, the homelessness problem is out of, and it stinks. It smells like piss. It stinks all the time. The police is only there to make sure, I guess, or they respond to anything that happens afterwards. Nothing is preventative. And I guess unless it's just a major event, ain't nothing popping there, you know? So, you know, if you one of the type of people that can come in and do what you got to do, and then you can go back out to wherever you live at, and you can dip out, then that's one thing. But if you're the type of person that's actually looking for a thriving environment to where you want to be in a club scene or whatever, because, like, if you compare it, right? If you compare it to somewhere like a Miami or even a Chicago, Chicago has a high vacancy rate of the Magnificent Mile. But Chicago still, you know, the foundation of it, well, they are losing the Bears possibly over at Soldier Field, so that may change. Well, let me pick somewhere else. If you pick it like a Miami, right? In Brickell, or you go to downtown, it's all kind of interconnected. And they do a lot more work to make sure that not only is South Beach and Miami Beach a integral part, but it's completely separate. It's a different vibe. You get a different type of scenery, different type of people. Over in Brickell, it's kind of like a tourist area and destination. But not far from that, you have the Design District, which is a lot of high-end shops and stuff like that. You got Midtown, which is directly across from the Design District. You got Wynwood, which is now being redeveloped, and if you go down a block, that's going to be pretty bad. But it's a tourist destination. You still got the Wynwood Walls. You got all of that, right? And then you drive down Biscayne, you can head straight down to downtown. And it's a much more thriving environment to where you're not going to see it not cleaned up. You're not going to see a bunch of vagrants and homeless people everywhere, not being able to enjoy it as a tourist. And I very much felt like it was a welcoming city for tourists that were coming there to visit or entertain or whatever, versus over in Los Angeles, if you come off the freeway, you see people living on the freeway. It is absolutely insane. I've never seen nothing like that in my entire life. Everything that you depict on the movies, it looked like The Walking Dead. It genuinely looks like The Walking Dead over in Los Angeles. And so when I see people talk about it and they say, well, man, don't talk about my city, it's messed up.
Thing to market. It's a hard thing to characterize. Bringing young people back into that area, then you can start getting shopping streets. Shopping streets are the key to an urban city center.
Nah, I think that that's a 15-year project, honestly. To get people to come back to downtown Los Angeles, that's a 15-year project. Anybody still living in Los Angeles, they got to be renting. Because even like buying a home there, if you buy a home past a certain amount, you're getting taxed out of your eyeballs. A lot of people just go and spend time there. They're not trying to stay there or whatever. But it's too bad. It is way too bad in Los Angeles. That's a 15-year project to be able to get people to live, work, and play there. And it's going to take so much legislatively. And they about to re-elect Karen Bass, obviously. And so it's just going bad. Drug problems, gang problems, homelessness problem, affordability problems. There's too many things that's happening bad all at the same time. And the city is also going broke. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Genley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.